The moon is trying to reach out to you. It is trying to build a sacred connection with you. This has been coming up so much in my collective. So I felt called to create a spiritual moon guide. Complimentary. It's a gift to my collective. I'll put a picture of it here. And then this is what the landing page will look like, and I'll put a link down below. It'll send you an email with the PDF at no cost at all. It's for my collective. I did a little bit more research, and I wanted to give you guys a full spiritual guide to create a connection with the moon. As a side note, I did study biology and marine science. I'm going to talk a little bit about the moon scientifically and then mix it spiritually with everything, okay? So, firstly, let's talk about the moon itself. The moon has been, I'm reading my notes by the way. The moon has been dancing with the earth since its birth. Even though Earth is a bit older than the moon, they are both about 4 billion years old. And as NASA puts it, the Earth's moon was born out of destruction. And I think that's why people who are attracted to the night are often also attracted to the moon, to new beginnings, to the raw realities of life and nature, and how darkness isn't this thing to be afraid of, but our shadow selves can be embraced also. It just started raining. Oh, how nice. So while the Earth was forming and was still growing, a planet, this is one of the theories, a planet smashed into the Earth, and the debris that came off was eventually formulated to become the moon. Everything happens for a reason, right? So that actually means that the moon is of the same lineage of the Earth. And as I was like channeling this and doing my research to make sure that, 4 billion years old, all that was right, I realized that that's why there's a hybrid collective of Earth angel sirens, okay? Because the Earth and the moon are made of the same materials. How amazing is that? So amazing. And this connection that you have with the forest and the seas, the wind and the tides. I never understood it until now. But my hybrid collective, that's why you feel the connection to both. Now, the moon is the key to Earth's balance. I'm getting into a little bit of the moon, and then we'll get into like the rituals and the admiration and everything. But all of this is on the moon guide that I created for you guys. Can you see the rain coming in? Nice. Now, the moon is key to Earth's balance and a life force of balance for Earth. It creates the tides. It gives us a stable climate and seasons, and most interesting of all is it changes the behavior of both humans and animals. Sea turtles hatch on the full moon, and to follow the path to the sea, they use the full moon as a light. Owls hunt on the full moon. Birds use the moon as a guide for migration. This rain. Can you hear it? That's so nice. What perfect timing. Let's open this. Lions hunt on the new moon because of the darkness. More animals go to the vet on the full moon, and more people go to the ER during the full moon. Isn't that crazy? So a lot of things are aligned with the full moon, the light that it provides, and everything in between. And for the divine feminine, your moon cycle is 28 days, while the divine moon cycle is 29.5 days. And our hormones as divine feminine work the same way in this cycle. And this is the same for your intuition and psychic abilities, which I'll get into more later. I wonder if I can leave this open. Now the phases of the moon have different powers, okay? And since the moon rules water, it also rules the water in our body. Water. Okay, and the explanation for why those phases of the moon are very powerful and have different powers is that since the sun is considered one of the all-powerful deities, when the sun is giving its energy and light to the moon at different levels, this is what determines how powerful the moon is at times, and therefore how powerful you are and your psychic abilities are. If you want me to, I can do a whole other video on how to ritualize and create a relationship with the sun, and then I could create a guide for that also. Let me know in the comments if that's something that you're interested in. So, to think of it is to think of it like the closer to the full moon you get, the more heightened your magical abilities, intuition, psychic powers, visions, and connection to the realms, which could be the fairy realm, the Egyptian deities, the Greek gods, spirit animal realm, spirit world. It just depends on where your abilities and gifts are. Now let's get into the rituals. You don't have to just do a full moon ritual. You can actually do rituals at every phase of the moon cycle. So for new moon, you can pray with candles and set intentions for the month ahead. This is the best thing to do on the new moon. And when I say praying to candles, I mean light a candle, but make sure you're thinking of your intentions. This could be what psychic abilities you want to expand. It could also be what type of relationship you want to build with the moon, what realm you want to connect to. Do you want to connect to the Greeks? Do you want to connect to the Egyptians? Do you want to connect with the spirit animals? Or do you want to feel every cycle that she's going through? Okay, so the next full moon is the pink moon, I believe, in a few days, or in like a week. After the candle is lit, make sure you talk to the moon, pray to the moon, and on a daily basis, like, just say hi and think of the moon, talk to her, and like really start to build a connection like how you would talk to a friend on a weekly basis, right? And make sure you start with gratitude and you say thank you, moon, for giving us the tides, for giving us, you know, our connection to water. You know, and then before you blow out the candles, say thank you again. And so that's like a candle meditation that you can do. I suggest doing it like in the bathtub is where I like to do it. So like if I'm having a sacred bath, or like it's a ritualistic kind of really meditative and relaxing bath, I'll have a candle, 2 or 3 candles lit, and before I take my bath I light them, and then during I think about my intentions, and then after I drain the bath, or before I drain the bath, I'll blow it out and, you know, make that kind of a ritual. Now, for the waxing crescent and the first quarter, so this is the first part when it comes back from the new moon, you really want to focus on cleansing your space, letting go of negativity, and make sure you keep focusing on your intuitions. There's little ducks running. Oh, do you hear them? They're little quacks. Oh, so cute. And if you're working on your psychic abilities, which I suggest that everyone does, it is relatively easier for women to pick up and grow their psychic abilities because we have natural intuition and because we're naturally more inclined to be to be in the cycle of the moon, since our cycles are with the moon. But men also can do this because everyone has divine feminine and divine masculine. Divine feminine just seems to be higher in women. And for the waxing gibbous, this is like before the full moon, right? Just let them go by. This is when you should do tarot readings, lucid dreaming, and channeled messages that will come through very strongly, okay? Now, for the full moon, since you've been working on this for the entirety of the month, if you have established a connection and a relationship with the moon, you may start to get intuitive messages, especially those from other realities and from other universes, even seeing the future or seeing past lives, okay, of yourself or even others. And I will say it's much easier to start tapping into your own energy than to start tapping into your friends' and family's energy, and then you can do it and tap into strangers' energy, so like your collective. I will say that I've been doing tarot card readings for over a year, I think almost a year and a half, 2 years, and I started with myself, and I did the same thing. Started with myself, friends and family, strangers, and then collective. So it is a cycle. Some people are more inclined to connect with collective energy, and it's harder to connect with their own, so it just depends on who you are. But for most people, that is the easiest way. Now, you can also try to start tapping into this energy, and this is also a great time to do the yogic moon solutions. Those are like, rather than like vinyasa, which is invigorating, trying to give you energy, moon solutions are really calm and relaxing and really useful for sleep, okay? Now, in many beliefs, the moon is not just a planet, but a connection to the realms, and of course a connection to divine feminine. Like I was saying earlier, you can have that intention of trying to connect with the Greek gods, whichever realm it is that you want to connect to. And but there's also some beliefs that's connected to the other side and passed on souls from every universe. This is why you're able to tap into all of those different worlds. The moon is literally one of the first sources of psychic abilities. Now, if you're a part of my collective, you know I talk about Avatar: The Last Airbender a lot. If you remember in Avatar: The Last Airbender, how the waterbenders learned from the moon, like that was their teacher. Okay, it is the same in the realm with psychic abilities. Do you hear the ducks quacking? This is why one of the best ways to become more psychic is to connect with the moon. She can teach you, and she can be your master. And ultimately, it's like having a mentor tell you all of their secrets. She will start to share and gift you some of her magic, okay? Now, we've gotten to the peak, right, of the full moon. During the waning gibbous, now this is going back down to the new moon, right? This is the third quarter in waning crescent. And I have in the guide, I have like a picture of the phases and then all of this next to it. So you don't have to like remember all this, just go download the guide and it's all on there. This is when you reflect and release and start to become grounded again. And here we go. This is like a little bit of a, not warning, but like a soft warning. You need to start becoming grounded again because you do not want to disassociate or lose your consciousness to whatever realm you may have tapped into. Now, since you are going to other realms, there might be things on the other side trying to come back with you, trying to get back to Earth. So if you start to feel anxiety or dark thoughts, you need to do an energy protection where you literally just say over and over again, Spirit, cut the energetic cords, all wanted and all unknown cords. Cut the cords. It's just do meditation on that, and then that'll cut all of the energetic cords. Now, the other thing is, when your relationship starts to get stronger, you may feel called to stay awake a lot of the night and your sleep may get disrupted. But it's only because the relationship is getting stronger and you are able to connect to her and you can feel, see, and hear her. But it isn't as strong enough for her to communicate with you through your sleep. Okay, so after that connection goes from that stage just a little stronger, then you'll be able to sleep a lot better, and then she'll be communicating with you in your sleep. And at this stage, you also might start having lucid dreams. I do encourage you to keep a dream journal because you also may start to develop fortune-telling or prophetic dreams. This happened to me. And, remember, this is not going to be the same for everyone. The different gifts that you could get, clairvoyance, like animal communication, it's different for everybody. And yes, so pay attention to all of that. And that is everything. Thank you so much for watching. Go check out the spiritual guide for the moon. If this resonated with you, you might be a part of my collective. And let me know how you like the spiritual guide, and I can start to make more stuff for you. Because I really feel called that my collective needs guidance to connect with the elements more, because we're so elementally inclined and we're such earth angels and sirens and a very earthly collective. So yeah, let me know how you like it, and I wish you a beautiful, gorgeous moon ritual, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.